welcome to the Nonic Nonsense Podcast, a show where the only thing disappearing faster than the EMC program is my will to get through the rest of audition season. I am Kat Gold. Michael Matterdomini is not here, but today we have a very special guest, hot off the Disenchanted National Tour. It's Jenna Janet.
Wow! Woo! Wowee. What an
Oh,
intro.
I uh I knew I had to get you onto this pod because you have experienced so much of the Nonic nonsense.
Yeah, I've been here for a minute.
Not only the nonsense from our tour, but like you've done so many tours.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so before we get into that, because I don't know how you have done it. I truly don't understand how you've gotten through. Um, Tell me, how did you get your start in theater?
Uh, when I was in high school, I like fortunately had like a couple of people, faculty members pushing me into it, and I knew that I loved to sing. Like I started with an instrument, so I started with clarinet simply because like Squidward played the clarinet. That was the only reason I wanted to play it. And whatever. And it like I learned how to read music right off the bat, which was has been helpful at least on the musical theater side. Um, and it helps me to like kind of appreciate and like learn music quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I started playing clarinet when I was like in second grade. Then there was like choir that kind of came into it. And I went to like school one time and I like saw the musical at high school and they were
Mm-hmm.
doing Oklahoma, which was like lit, of course,
Yeah.
because like Rogers and Hammerstein and like the costumes were great. And I was just like, yes, I love this. I was like, I want to do that. And um, so then when I got into junior high, there was like a little tiny bit of a theater program there, but it really started when you were in high school. But fortunately, my like English teacher, we had to like read aloud in class and stuff, and we were like reading Anne Frank and like just kind of visiting these kind of like dark stories and like reading plays,
Mm-hmm.
and even just like starting to tap into some Shakespeare. And he just I think saw that I enjoyed it and was passionate about it early, and so he definitely like encouraged me to come. My family is not like my cousins are like in the arts. I have two cousins that are like in music professionally, but nobody was like in the theater being like, this is where you should go or like this is what you should be doing. It was really just in school and like an after school thing. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I got to like the end of high school, they were so sweet and they like did they did Legally Blonde for me, and that's like how I became blonde and why I'm blonde now.
Oh my
And
gosh.
they just like pushed me into the starring role just because like they knew I loved it and I would like show up and do the work, and like I don't think it was because I was especially talented or anything. It was just like I
Well,
just
I
really
think that's
liked
why
it.
because you are especially talented, but I understand what your thought
But like
process.
I came from like no training, like no vocal training, like apart from just like learning music in school. Like I
Yeah, but
went to
so
public
many people.
schools and like
I was exactly like that. I never had a voice lesson, never had any training until I went to college. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's kind of like the path for like. I mean, it's very rare, in my opinion. Maybe not in New York because everyone like, in order to afford to do this job, I feel like everyone's got money or generational money,
Oh, yeah.
and like so they can afford to have like classes as a kid and like all this stuff. But like normal people don't.
Yeah, no. No, dude. Like it's rough out here and it's so expensive to take classes
Hmm.
and to pay experts for their time, like honestly. And I when I was in college, I at the end of high school started to take vocal lessons with
Hmm.
a peer's mom, and she was fantastic. She used to sing with like a big band,
Oh,
and like symphonies and stuff like that. So she would like a really powerful like leading lady voice, and I was just blown away by her. And she had taught one of the other girls who was in a leading role. She did Thoroughly Modern Millie, and I made it down to callbacks with this like senior who booked it, obviously because she was a senior, and
yeah.
she did so well. And like she studied with this woman for the show because it's like a Sutton Foster,
Yeah.
felty track. And I was like, I want to learn how to do that and be an agile singer. I love this so much. And so she got me ready for like college auditions. I had no right being out there in the world, like auditioning, like going to Montclair State University and like attempting to do that dance call. I should have just been kicked out immediately. Like, no one,
Oh,
like, they made us do a Newsies combination. I was like, what is happening right now? Like, um, so I auditioned for like a few programs and then I wound up at Fairleigh Dickinson University. I also fortunately was like good academically in school, so I got some good, education scholarships on
yeah.
top of a little bit of a performing arts scholarship on top of that. And I got a lot of main stage experience there. It was really rewarding.
Mm.
The social atmosphere was like a little intense. It was a very small program and it was Meisner training. So it was a
Hey,
little
how big was your
close to home. Everybody was feeling very vulnerable. And
how big was your program total?
oh, geez. Oh my God. I don't even know how many people I graduated with. Maybe like 30 with including like tech people.
Yeah,
But like the people who were in our showcase, maybe like 20 to 25 of
yeah, I
us.
think I think I basically had the same thing. So like our so fun fact, I didn't do people that listen to the pod know this. I didn't do any college auditions because I didn't even know that was a
Like
thing.
literally, thank God my teachers were like, you
Oh,
should just try it. Just go, just try. Like, I don't know.
I wish I kind of had that because like it just didn't happen for me. We've got a lot of kids that are listening from Lynn University down in Florida that are in the musical theater program. But yeah, so no, never did a single college audition. I got into two schools academically, and there was one that had a choir program that I had sung with on the side that they were like, we'll accept you into the music program. And then the one that I went to, UWF, it was a thing where like you audition your entire freshman year to get into the program. Because if you can
Whoa,
get into the BFA, otherwise
that's
you become like
crazy.
an acting major.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and
so
they make
like
you jump through all these hoops and put in all this time and money, frankly, into the
yeah,
school, and paying to stay there and showing up there without any actual main stage experience. Like, thank God, at least in the program I was in, I got to like have a lot of main stage experience so that when I went out and started
yeah,
auditioning professionally, like I had some chops, I guess, and just like knew how to carry a show, knew how to like work a room a little bit, just of like having that experience was
yeah,
invaluable. And to imagine wasting even a year of it. I mean, not that it's a waste, I guess in some
yeah.
people's more conservative view of like how this should education should operate around theater, like
Mhm.
maybe they feel that that's the best avenue of approach, but like I feel like
Yeah,
you know,
they have since changed that at my alma mater. They've changed that, so it's like a normal. You audition prior, but
yeah,
I think now if I was a kid, I would have had way more knowledge just because the internet is like more open about like college auditions for like musical theater and like
it was
there's
so
more.
shrouded in mystery before, like
Yeah, so there's more info, so I don't think I would be as like in the dark, but I truly don't regret any of my education because like I
yeah,
I had amazing professors that like did set me up for success once I was in the thing.
yeah, same.
But yeah, it was definitely spicy and to
Yeah,
get
it's
in and
spicy. Like, there's also a lot of children turning into adults there, and like, it becomes very incestuous, and it's just, I don't know, it's just like it's intense, and you're young adults navigating, professional relationships and also social relationships, like in this while you are literally having yourself shattered and then build back up. Like my if you've done Meisner training, they just really get in there and torture you first, and then they
literally
let
like
you run wild, Tennessee Williams style.
tortured for like 2 years and then like it's like, oh, I can actually not do this 24/7. Got it.
Right,
But
right. But I'm also really grateful for like the intensity of like the acting professor that I had. She was intense.
Yeah.
And she really like did not, she called me out on my bullshit, and she like pushed me to a place of vulnerability because I came very guarded from like life circumstances, and she was like,
Hmm.
you are gonna play people who cry and people who are like, you're going to be playing these scenes, and you need to be able to like access safely. And she really just like made me get there. So now that's very easily accessible, like at the drop of a hat. It's something I don't have to worry about, and just very little warm up for because of that
Yeah.
training. But at the same time, I was like a very young person, and these people were not, I don't think none of us were the best people for each other, while we all underwent that process of the training. Like
Yeah.
it was intense in there.
Meisner can like it could really like open you up or shut you fucking down. So like
Yeah.
I kind of had the opposite program. I came in already pre-traumatized from, life experiences. And so when I came in there, I was good with sadness and with the vulnerability, but I struggled with joy.
Yeah.
I struggled with joy for like 2 years, like just like getting that aspect of it in a Meisner situation, which when you're doing like the criminal activities and stuff and like all sorts of Meisner exercise, it's a little hard to find joy. you know?
Yeah, yeah. Navigating your own moral compass and like discovering yourself as an adult at the same time that you're learning how to act. And like, I feel like the older I get, like the more I like watch people truthfully in these situations of like grief or pain, or like
Mm-hmm.
I watch very curiously in like these times when like people are making these difficult decisions that I struggle to identify with morally, so that I can find the truth when I need to, I guess. Like, um, I don't know.
Are there
I
certain performances that you think of, like when you're talking about this, like certain performances that like clicked in your head when you saw it and you were like, oh, that's some like honest like storytelling.
oh
That's
my
some
God.
like,
Um,
honest dropped in storytelling.
Imelda Staunton doing Losing My Mind from Follies. There's like a recording of
Ooh.
it on YouTube. And she is just like beside herself with grief. And she also starts to kind of like drop into like an incoherent state at the end of the song, like as like a choice. And it was like so moving, it was so heartbreaking. So and it's just kind of like a Sondheim that's like heavy and like drudgy.
Yeah.
And she just energizes it in this really electric way. And it's such like a massive role. But I do love that performance.
Yeah. I think the one that strikes like that I will like never forget. I remember watching it during it was a directing class in college, and we were watching a live stream of Helen McCrory as Medea. If
Mm,
and her performance in that, it was so dropped in but easy, an easy approach to the dialogue. And I'm very into the speech, very
yeah,
into
yeah, yeah,
for shows. So like a dropped inness that was terrifying. Like there's one section
yeah,
in the show where like the Greek chorus, all the women of the town are talking about Medea making the decision that she does, and you just
yeah,
see her in the corner of the stage, just like off to the side, and you're just like watching her through her entire thought process and psyching herself up to do to kill her children and stuff.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's so electrifying and terrifying. It just feels like a level of danger,
Mm.
like everyone's safe, but like there's a level of danger in that performance that just like Just
Oh my God, that takes your breath away. I mean, like in a much less
yeah.
high stakes show, but like similar, like the physicality. I went to see the Exorcist musical parody. It's
Oh
called
yeah, yeah.
Exorcistic, and it stars one of the original touring Elphabas, like huge voice, huge instrument, in
Hmm.
this like little tiny athletic body, and she like played the Megan character, and her physicality of Reagan and like the devil was so dangerous. There was this like level of danger and like insecurity like in the
Yeah.
audience around her. It was a very close
Yeah.
um like the way it was sad, it was like a thrust space. And so I was like on the side, very close to the stage, very close to her, and able to watch her body really close up. And
Yeah.
there was a level of like danger, and it was like, you know, it was a musical parody, so it's like it was not Medea, but like
Yeah.
but it was really cool to watch her drop into that and to also feel that fear and insecurity that they wanted us to feel as audience members watching her work.
Ooh. Ooh, now I've seen clips of it. I wanna see it. I love me a good parody musical.
Oh my God, I love a parody. I love it.
I know
And
you
it was
do.
good. It was good. It was funny. And like
Yeah.
these are the creators of the show, the people that collaborated on the show, this original cast that I saw. I believe the show still has a life beyond this. I think they're an LA based team.
Okay.
But I would like look for it and just kind of like keep your eye on it.
Speaking of parody musicals, you're very familiar.
Sheesh. Yeah. In the, I mean, the best way. It gave me like some real comedic training and like formula, and I worked with a lot of really funny people, and I had wonderful directors that really helped to ingrain that comedic formula in me, so that when I showed up to other shows, I like knew how to play. They kind of taught me how to play, I feel
Yeah,
like.
because you did both Singfeld and also Friends, correct?
And also Friends, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Of course, playing some of the most iconic characters in comedy television. Please,
Wow.
I would tell me which show do you have a bigger fondness for, Friends or Singfeld?
Friends, I was a part of for such a long time. Like the tour lasted for a very long part of my career, and the people I was with were like really wonderful, generous, kind people, and we were like siblings, and it was like a very close knit. And so the chemistry was really something special.
Mhm.
I, you know, I would never dare to say like parallel to the show, like which is what made the show, the sitcom, so successful was the
Yeah,
chemistry between these people, and the same for Seinfeld.
yeah.
But to like speak to that for Friends, like we were very lucky to have that chemistry as a unit.
Hmm.
And so that was like a nice special place to rest for a while in my early career. And all of the people that I was on that project with, I'm still, you know, very close with and have been to their weddings. And, you know, my friend was supposed to come to Disenchanted that one night, and she ended up her water broke that morning.
Oh my
So
God. Yeah.
like so that was she's a friend from Friends, and so so that was very special in its own way. And I love Lisa Kudrow, and she has like a new season of The Comeback coming out.
Yes, I've seen clips and I need to sit down and watch it.
The Comeback is like one of the most underrated things I've ever seen. It is so funny. It was like cringe comedy before the world even knew how to have a taste for it.
Yeah.
And Lisa is unbelievable. And so now she's coming back in this new season in a sitcom written by AI. It's
Oh my
it's
God.
perfect. It's perfect. But I use that show, fun fact, as like a study for Lisa and the impression, so that I could focus on her, and like disconnect from Phoebe, because there are plenty of like Phoebe isms that are built into the character and built into the script of that show.
Mhm.
But for the audiences, like I found what they wanted most was to see the actresses underneath those characters. Like, of course, they want to see Phoebe, but they also want to see Lisa. And
Yeah.
so I just spent a lot of time watching the other material the actresses did to also get a feeling for like who they are and just kind of like how vowel sounds like sit in their mouths, physicality, that kind of thing, and not just get distracted by the show, but focus on the actress also.
Yeah.
For Seinfeld, like Seinfeld is just, I think of the two shows, like I'm more fond like toward that original source material, and Julia
Hmm.
Louis-Dreyfus is like to be able to just sit down and study 9 seasons of her, and then also Veep.
Yeah.
The woman is a masterclass in comedy and sharpness and groundedness, and she's also just like she breaks the mold. The characters in Friends are kind of like safe and like their archetypes, and like Phoebe was like probably the most extreme or like the most like raw,
Yeah.
and like sometimes I think most human or relatable of them. And so it was like an honor getting to like step in there. But with Elaine, she's just like one of the angriest women on television and just like unapologetically so. And I just like, I deeply understand her and I find so much humor in what she does. And like, I think that I'm a much funnier person for having been afforded the time
Hmm.
to just study her, just spend like 9 months of my life studying this woman. So yeah, that's my feeling about both of the shows. But
How long were you with Friends and how long were you with Singfeld?
Friends the tour started in like rehearsals were like late September, early October of 2018.
Okay.
And the tour went until May of the following year, and then we came back for a summer leg. There was like chit chat about possibly going off Broadway. That kind of like fell through.
Hmm.
And then, so then I did another project in between a different tour. And then the world shut down for COVID. And then like COVID happened. And then like early 2021, the creative team for Friends started to reach out and gauge our availability. Now, some people had like moved on and like have children now and like were not available originally. So I
Yeah.
actually started as the swing on the national tour.
Hmm.
There was a girl, Madison, that played Phoebe before me. So I got to like watch her do it for a year and like
Yeah.
really understand and like spend that time studying. But I love the impression work. Like she was so tall and beautiful, like Lisa was.
Hmm.
But I just like love to delve in. So that was like kind of my superpower with the role that I got to like dive in and do the impression work.
Yeah.
So then when we came back post COVID, so that was like summer, like June, July of 2020, 21, 2021, yes.
Wow.
And so then we started off Broadway for like 2 months and then we went on tour. At the end of the winter leg there, I got an offer from FST to do 5.5 months there doing a sketch comedy show.
Hmm.
And it's just like a different flex of the muscles. And I had been doing the show for a long time. I was like, it's time for me to hand off the baton. So
Yeah.
then I left the show in December of 2021.
Oh, okay.
So 2018 to 2021, like this life of this show, but it
Wow.
wasn't going that whole time.
Yeah.
And now it runs off Broadway under a different production company and creative team.
Okay. And then for Singfeld, how long were you with Singfeld?
So Singfeld was actually developed partially around us. So it was like partially written. We still went through an audition process and stuff.
Hmm.
The guy who played Jerry, Landon Zwick, and I had worked for Bob and Tobley before,
Hmm.
who are the writers on the show. And so we came from like they were already familiar with us in the audition process, but they were obviously still seeing other people. And then there were like a few new faces in Singfeld as well. So that was cool to kind of like revisit people. Landon was in the original Friends cast off
Mm-hmm.
Broadway at St. Luke's. So
Yeah.
before the national tour, he was in that cast. So we both had like a history and friends before we worked on Seinfeld together. So the show was like half written, and then we came into the room and we're kind of like workshopping stuff. And they finished the show kind of like around us as we were rehearsing it. Stuff got cut, stuff was added, stuff was kind of like shortened or abridged.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, yeah, and so like we worked on it from March of 2023 to we opened in like mid-May of 2023. And then I ran with the show until October, late October of 2023.
Wow. That's crazy.
And it's still running.
Yeah, yeah, no. I truly feel it's the season of the parody musical. I mean, we've got Titanic is now like on Broadway.
Oh,
There's such a life of parody shows happening off Broadway right now that just keep going, and they're so funny.
so good. The source material doesn't lie, like when the source material is good, then you already have like a fan base built in. There's already rapport around the show. Like as long as the creative team and I think the actors have respect for the original source material, then the audiences will be happy to be there and be super supportive.
Yeah. And so then we have the pivot into Disenchanted. Now, Disenchanted, some people call it a parody show. I don't call it a parody show. I mean, it's a parody of the princesses, but the show itself is not
No,
in my.
she's a standalone
She's a
star. She is.
standalone. So you showed me. So last leg, you joined on in the for the 2025 year. Um, you showed me your callback tape. It was one of the most insane, fabulous things I have ever seen. I would love to talk about the wigs. I would love
Yeah.
because I it's such an interesting, bold choice for like virtual submissions.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't have any hair really. Like I have very little hair as like a human being. So like I also really I lighten it a lot too, so it's already very fine. And like I think as I am, slating as I am is kind of important and being like, this is what I look like. I'm not lying to you. Like this is who I am. Here we
Mm-hmm.
go. Just that like I get wigged for like everything that I'm in. Like I don't have a lot of hair. It's not a superpower of mine. And it's like we don't have to beat around the bush. Like let's just lean in. But I was actually there was an actress who worked at the front desk at a job that I work at now, and we
Mm-hmm.
had been talking about tapes. She had gone in for Titanic and she did a wig in her tape, and I thought it was so smart. Like I was like, that's fun. It's funny, and it's like let's just like slate as yourself. Like I see who you are. La la la. Let me see you in costume. Like because sometimes I feel as imaginative as casting it is, I
Yeah.
imagine, sometimes they lack imagination to see somebody with the opposite hair color or something. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, let me just make this real simple for you. I'm a chameleon. That's what I do. I slip in and out of people's skin. I fortunately work in the hair industry right now in my survival job. So I met a wonderful stylist at this local salon I was working for, and he does wigs for drag, for his own drag, and was like a multi contest winner on Long Island, like beautiful, very femme, just like
Mm-hmm.
so hot, like and he had been showing me like all of his wigs and like even for Halloween, like how he had styled wigs and stuff, and he had done like Amy Winehouse and like I was like, you know what? I was like, this is it. Because he had said, yeah, I can just like take an Amazon wig or something and I
Mm-hmm.
can style it. I know how to style it. And I was like, oh my God. So it like opened up this whole avenue of like um just kind of cheap wigs that is styled by a professional. Unfortunately, he's like so sweet to me that he's like, I haven't done half of this stuff since beauty school. Like I asked him to make me like an Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors slash like Dolly Parton wig so that I can have that on standby for when 9 to 5 and Little Shop come in,
Yeah.
and just be ready to have the wig. Um, and he did this beautiful job and he like had so much fun doing it. So anyway, I have that very fortunate thing going for me. But in this case, I just had this like Annie wig mostly there to impersonate someone from Seinfeld, like who was in my Seinfeld track.
Yeah.
Um, so instead of I had other wigs I could have worn for Belle. I had this like kind of brunette wig that I like put into like a side pony and like was able to make it look kind of normal, and like I did like costume pieces like reminiscent of like the blue and white and
Hmm.
whatever just to drop in for her. For Merm, like I knew that she was like nuts, and I feel like the red hair thing was just like kind of like a necessity, but I was like, if I can't make it work, I can't make it work. I wanted to see if I could Amazon something faster. But I was like, you know what? I have the wig, whatever. I'm just gonna like do up the earrings. I'm gonna go like lean in on the makeup, put on lashes, just look, put on a beauty mark. Just really lean into this Annie wig and make it work like short rock and roll. Let's
Huh.
just yeehaw. Unfortunately, Johnny bought it, but I also met Johnny in kind of a like a similar situation. Like he was wearing like a black Amazon wig out of a bag, like a shake and bake wig, and like this like Amazon suit, like fresh out the bag, no steaming,
This is like
nothing.
the square
You
creases
could
still.
literally see the creases, like still in the suit, like show ready. And just so we had an understanding, like there was no way I could embarrass myself in front of Johnny.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize the writers were gonna watch it. Like I didn't know that anybody was gonna watch that. I figured they would like, I don't know.
It's the sneaky thing that they don't tell you is like
I
you have
was like, what?
for our show, the authors have to give they have to give like approval for each person that has come on to the tour. So yeah, everyone who's like does like the final round of callbacks or like whatever it is, they send the videos. Like, of course, like our team like has their chosen people, and then they send. They're like, "This is our picks. Here are the other people as well. Tell us what you think." And like the authors will give like the stamp of approval. But that,
Johnny was just like, I saw the thumbnail and I already knew that this was gonna be nuts. Like, oh geez.
oh
So
goodness. But
spitting all over the United States, spitting on the
listen,
floor.
oh my god, you're okay. Your Belle, fabulous. Your Little Mermaid is out of this world. I love, I love, I love her so much. She is so fucking deranged. I
She's feral. She's feral.
Farrah. Oh my
Oh man.
goodness. So you have done now 5 tours.
Yeah, Friends was like I count as one, but we toured like at two different times.
Mhm.
And then Little Black Dress was a show I did in between Friends and COVID.
Mhm.
Then I toured with Friends again, and then I toured with you guys. So it's four total.
Okay. For I have. How do you
Oh
survive?
no, actually five with TheaterWorks. You're right. You were right.
Oh, you did
TheaterWorks was the original before Friends.
theater works. How is that? I've heard so many mixed things about theater works.
I mean, I was young. I needed the experience. It also taught me like what the equity timeline looks like and just kind of like advocate for myself and like I think it made me aware of like union rules in that way and like how stage management and company management kind of like operate as someone who's like living with their coworkers and like traveling. So I felt like it was a good grounding learning experience as someone who was new in training and like new to the industry professionally.
So, as a person that has gone through so many tours, what what do you think is like the most important thing to like keep yourself sane and to
Yeah.
like keep going? Because the tour, like the Disenchanted tour, is a very lax tour schedule. It's not really that rough. It's like you're going out for like a month and change at a time, but like you've done so many of them, and I assume they have a normal tour schedule. So
Yeah.
what are the most important things for like your survival on tour?
I found that like earlier on, I overpacked more just because I wasn't sure of like what to bring and stuff like that. And or I was just traveling for a long time. It's really hard to pack for like multi-season travel and stuff like that. But I felt like as I've gone on, I've gotten like I've become a savvier packer. Um, in terms of like taking care of my body, I have like some non-negotiables now. Like now I would never leave without a heating pad, or like some sort of a humidifier or a nebulizer, like some way to hydrate, whether
Thank
it's
God
like
you
while I'm
had a
awake or
humidifier. You saved my ass this leg.
sheesh. I mean, the thing is too, like when we were traveling as we were doing and just going through multiple climates, like that was crazy. And what that does to the body. And this is such a Disenchanted is such a big thing that I definitely felt myself reaching for more like pro advice. Like I was definitely watching like some videos of like Alpha Buzz kind of going through their regimen and like how they care for their voices. Just I was a little intimidated by Mermaid specifically,
Yeah.
but by the show in general too, just like as an ensemble member, like being able to like take care of my body for the long haul when you can't, like you don't really have control over the climate or elevation or any of those things. So I've found that hotel rooms are pretty dry, so I like the humidifier. Even if I don't really need it, it's
Mm-hmm.
nice to have it. And my steamer too. I have like a steamer that I use in the morning. But it's more so like just I one time I think I had COVID on the road at the end of Little Black Dress, and I was like
Mm-hmm.
sicker than I had ever been in my adult life, but nobody knew what it was, and it was probably COVID. But I remember just like reaching for like whatever I could to like care for my body, and I remember just being on the road and really terrified for how to take care of my voice. And so now I carry those things with me. I'll like sacrifice space in my suitcase to like have those things with me.
Mm-hmm.
At least for a show that's like a big thing, like
Yeah.
Disenchanted was. But yeah, I think in terms of like keeping myself mentally well, both of the characters are a little crazy and frenetic
Mm-hmm.
for my track.
And
So
your track is so hard because you literally like the opening number is very hard, but like you pop out, do bell, you have a very fast, quick change, and then
yeah,
you
like 2.5 minutes, right? Like max probably.
I think technically, I think the song is almost five. Fun
Really?
fact.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you always make it feel like 2.5. Time flies when you're singing, Cat.
But no, but like you have so many costume pieces. The costumes are very beautiful. There's a lot of like little pieces that go on that just like take time and like a quick change. So it makes it very hard for anyone doing quick changes in this show. And then you literally so you go and do this number in a straight jacket. You're like super wordy. All these songs in this show are so wordy.
So wordy.
So wordy. You run backstage, you do this very heavy quick change, and then you come out and you have to fucking pop Little Mermaid out.
Yeah, and she's like, it's like accent work, impediment work, big sing, go.
Uh-huh.
And it was a challenge. I was so intimidated by it. but then also like my show became very joyful like once I got my show over with. But I was like at half hour and like when I'm dropping in, like if I don't have as much time as I think I'm gonna have, which is why I usually like will get there early. My ritual time before starting a show is very precious to me, and being able to do that slowly and not stressfully is kind of important to me. I can work, like I can make it work if I need
Yeah.
to, like, you know, shit happens on tour, especially like when we were in San Francisco, like in that smaller venue. And then, like, a lot of my, because of the nature of that change, my costume pieces had to be tracked over. Fortunately, I also had a castmate in Noah that was so supportive of me and was like always there standing by for me. So I never had to worry about that. And that I
Hmm.
was able to be like, I ran out of hands. I don't have enough hands. Can I please trust that you'll bring that the wig will be there when I get there? Of course I can, because it's Noah.
Yeah.
So that was really nice for me. So like that was one of those venues where I had to track stuff over and like I didn't have as much time to get ready. So
It
in
was
those
just
moments, I'll shut
that.
down.
Yeah. That venue was so hard because it was like the real proper dressing rooms were 40 million miles away. So we moved us closer, but it was still like two flights of stairs. And
Yeah,
like,
it was a lot of energy and the show is already exhausting. So to like even get up the stairs like out of breath or something is like not an option. Like there needs to be enough time to be standing there to be able to like have a sip of water or like just be able to like center your breath down so that you can then sing.
yeah. Oh my goodness. That venue. Oh, what a pain in the butt. Um, loved
Yeah.
San Francisco though. Loved Oakland, San
We
Francisco.
love her. We
That
love
was
her.
fun.
And
Oh,
the venue was honestly charming. Like the size of the stage was like the size of a postage stamp. And honestly, we
yeah.
looked like probably like larger than life on there. It was probably we gave those people the show of a lifetime that matinee. I don't even know what happened. We turned it out.
That matinee was fucking lit.
Was we were popping our pussies for
I
fucking Oakland.
it was so fun. The best part about having a stage that small is like for me specifically, like for without the guy, I can like start getting out of breath if I gotta travel a distance just because of how fast
Agreed.
like I'm trying to sing
Yeah.
and like
And Merm too. Like I can feel a bigger space like in my body.
and literally it was like I took one step and I was at zero and I was like we're good, we're so good.
We're so good, y'all. Like,
Oh my god. But then
I
some
love it.
places, oh my god. Um Colorado and New Mexico were rough. Just the
They
altitude, the
New
altitude.
Mexico, I think, was harder for me than Colorado was. Colorado was just hard for me emotionally, I think.
Oh,
But
you
like,
same.
but
I
New
love it
Mexico
because
was,
you cried during the sound check. I
yeah.
sobbed during the actual show.
During the actual, you were a rock for me during the mic check, and then
And then
and then
everyone
I was
had to
like,
like take
I'm
care
gonna
of
be
me.
good. I'm gonna be good because I watched each person kind of crack. I had my own crack after Merm too. Like after I exited as Merm with the
Yeah.
cooler, I kind of just like sat back there for a second,
Yeah.
but and had like a quick little private moment. But my one, at least in front of other people, was during that mic check.
Yeah, and then I just like the reality of this 3 year project like closing. I was just like,
I can't even imagine. Like I became so attached to it and you all in the short time that I got to be there that like I can't imagine with the amount of time that you've put into it and Johnny and Emily
yeah,
and
no, this,
SJ.
yeah, yeah, no, this show, boy, oh boy. But to pivot on a lighter note, other than crying, and gasping for air in the high altitudes, especially New Mexico. It's funny. New Mexico was slightly lower in altitude, but I think because the stage was wide, we were like, "Oh dear
And
God!"
dry, and that woman talked and sucked the energy out of the room. So we had to fight for every ounce of respect from that audience because she emotionally vampired the whole room of people willing to even show up for this in the first place.
Yes,
She just sucked the energy. Oh,
I
God bless her.
I think theaters should stop having people speak at the top of shows.
Yes.
We
Sorry.
don't need it.
It's a
If they're
carefully crafted time. It's
no,
sacred.
no, just let the pre-show happen, and then uh, an overhead announcement, quick, 30 seconds, and then start the show. And everyone's fine. 20 minutes. We had to hold like forever for that woman to stop speaking.
I was sitting in the straitjacket behind the curtain the whole time. My lozenge was gone in this dry ass place. I was just like, bitch. And then like I came by the time I came out on stage, like these poor people were like, oh,
Oh
what
God,
is
what's
that? What is that? What's going on with her? Why is she hurting? That they were not like it wasn't in a funny space anymore. Like the I feel like Johnny's also carefully crafted pre-show playlist is very energetic and
Mhm.
purposeful and empowering, and like helps us kind of get in the headspace and the audience subliminally, in a
Yeah.
way that I didn't appreciate until that woman took over for 20 minutes.
Yeah. It was so bad. They were like Ashley had to, I think Ash was that the day that
She had
Ashley.
to adjust the time for
Yeah.
Cinderella because it was so late. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
Sheesh.
crazy. So I vote to abolish pre-show live speeches.
Aye,
No more.
aye.
We're they're gone. Um
Yes.
so oh my God, wacky shit happening. Tell me, because I love to hear a kooky crazy story. Tell me some of the kooky craziest stories that you've experienced in performance.
You mean like on stage or
Yeah,
like
I love I love onstage craziness. It could be backstage, but I do love some onstage craziness.
oh my God, there was this. Okay, so just to like really walk it back here to like before I even knew that I was going to be obsessed with Operation Mincemeat, I
Hmm.
played, so when I was the swing for Friends, I played Gunther every night. I was an onstage swing. I played Gunther. So I had this short little bleach blonde pixie cut wig and a shirt that looked like a bowling alley carpet. So I looked like Ellen DeGeneres. And I just like came out on stage and like Friends had tracks. We did not have a band.
Hmm.
The tracks were very carefully timed with QLab, and they were cued by lines in the show or lyrics. But there was this one song like set in the Central Perk Cafe that's iconic in Friends. Gunther comes out, does like a little speech, but there's supposed to be like musical underscoring under this, that's like timed out to the rest of the song happening also.
Hmm.
Um, so I like came out and there was like the song like skipped and I just kind of like came out and didn't know what to do. And I was like in Louisville, Kentucky. Um, I don't remember the name of the venue. The next night I played Rachel. I was on for Rachel. But this night I was on for Gunther. I came out. The track just didn't come on, and I knew that it had to be timed. So like I couldn't like start the dialogue early. So I just kind of came out, and the audience like had their moment where they laughed at me and had already moved on and expectantly was like, "Okay." And like the track just like didn't come in, and I just stood out there for a really long time, and then um and then I like looked off stage and like the deck hands were just kind of like the wardrobe supervisor was like and I was just kind of standing there on stage absorbing it all. It felt like it went on for like a million years, but it was probably maybe like 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
And then eventually the stage manager, they tried to start the track and I think they just were going to come in with the song and keep going and pushing through the cues, and then actors started to come on stage to help me, and then they were like, actors please leave the stage, so then they like reset And then I had to redo it with the track as it was. So the audience was like, it was like this weird humiliation of having to then do it in front of the audience the way it was supposed to happen and
Yeah.
didn't. And we just kind of pushed through there. But there was a point where like the song had kept going on and like actors kept coming on trying to help, and I just went behind the coffee cart and I was like cleaning. And then eventually, just I was cleaning and I just went under the coffee cart and just hid back there until the stage manager finally told us to leave the stage so that they could reset. Um, that was probably like the wildest moment of like my professional career. Um,
I also think we should abolish tracks.
Tracks are hard, man. I really respect the hustle for actors, and stage management,
Oh
working
my
with
God.
tracks.
Just imagine the very first leg of the Disenchanted tour, we were tracked.
Emily's told her story too. Bring in the track day!
Yeah. It was so there are so many horror stories of the tracks going wrong. Um
Oh,
in Disenchanted. Like especially in Perfect.
no,
So
man.
like it would happen to Emily and then it would happen to me. And like
Oh,
I have a clip where um and so when I did uh my CP debut, we had rehearsed it prior that day with the tracks, and Frankie was like, I'm gonna give like a big physical cue for you, because he could see in Q Lab when like the cue was coming in, because for some reason whoever put together the tracks did not want to break it up into a separate track, something that would make sense. They were like, no, 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 we're gonna leave a giant gap of silence that you cannot count.
that makes no sense.
It was painful. It was painful. So we were trying to get this thing situated, and we got it during like sound check to a point where like once I saw the physical cue, I could come in on time, and I was like, okay, really hope and pray this works. And so we go out, and you know the song is happening. I do the fake out split. I get helped up, and I look up to see where the physical cue is coming, and the spotlight is so hot that you can't see
Can't
any
see
of the
anything.
moves.
Of course
And
not.
so it was like, well, come on, girl. And immediately, as soon as I was come on, it was like 5, 6, 7, like opening into, into into the kick line. And I was just like,
Oh
someone
my God.
kill me.
And it's like the heart of the show. Like, I don't want to rush any moment of Sleepy's journey there at the end. So to like think that you had to like push through these
It was
moments,
it was
but
just like
just in survival. Like,
just fucking survival mode. That performance was crazy. That was before I had my understudy costume, because it was literally day two.
oh my
Um,
God.
it was like day two on the road, and I wore my Rapunzel outfit, and I wore my personal sneakers, because Emily and I are like a half size off from each other. So I wore
Oh
like my
man.
personal white sneakers, my Rapunzel costume, but with the Sleeping Beauty wig. It was just like, help, help.
Help. Help. The white sneaks.
The white sneaks.
I'm
They
a
were,
white shoe girl. I love a white shoe girl.
I love a white
Rapunzel,
sneaker. But
Rapunzel and Sleepy are white shoe girls.
see, it was crazy. See, oh my God. But I will say our characters' shoes, I think we have the best shoes. Mermaid's boots are
Oh my God. I've never worn cowboy boots like in my life, like seriously ever in my life. Like, and I fell in love with those shoes. I love them.
they're so good. And then I do love Rapunzel's clog stompers.
Love those. They're so cunty.
I will say I'm shocked that I haven't eaten shit in them. Like, I mean, they're
They're like
flat,
a big platform.
but
So like if you were taking stairs, like
yeah, and they're actually big on me. So I'm like, I've always been waiting to like eat shit. It hasn't happened so far. We'll
love
see.
it.
We come back and we have the same costumes, which I hope we get some revamps. But if we come back, I don't know. We'll
Oh
see.
man, I love the mermaid costume and I love Belle too. Belle is so beautiful and I have such little time to appreciate her, but I spend so much of the time in Mermaid that I get to appreciate being in that costume and that wig and it's oh my God, it's so much fun. It's a little hard on my body though, like I have like a prescription from my dermatologist like
I
for my
know.
skin just from the sparkles and stuff. I'm a sensitive skin little girl over here, so I like the costume itself is just like it's so fabulous that like my body from an actual durable standpoint needs a little help
Yeah.
supporting it and the jewelry too.
Oh yeah. There's fun fact. I just like found in my bag today like something that broke off of a Sleeping Beauty costume. Like I keep finding scraps. I have like random pieces of the scale fabric
The
from the boot.
scales. I left
Still,
them everywhere, those little scales. There was like one at least in every venue and every hotel room,
it's like your
at
calling.
least for the fall tour.
Yeah. It's like your little calling card, just like a little
It
secret.
is. I'm like, Merm was here.
They can remember the time with Disenchanted.
Oh yes, the Holiday Inn.
Oh God.
Many a scale and many a Holiday Inn.
Okay, so I think we're coming up to the end of our time. I would love to ask, just because we do have a lot of newer professionals in the industry that like to listen to the pod. So I would say, what is three pieces, you can do less, but three pieces of advice you would give to people that are coming out of college and just getting into the scene?
Totally. It's a rough industry and it's a hard time in the world right now, and I feel like storytelling is more important than ever, and humanizing people and all of us gathering in a dark room together to spend some time off of our phones and off of screens, telling the truth. I do feel that there's no more important time than right now, and there each in history I feel like each of those times has been like there's no more important time than now for this storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you love this more than anything else in the world and you literally can't imagine doing something else, or even if you're okay with it, not being your source of income all the time, just so you can be a part of it some of the time, then go ahead, come on in. The water's fine, the water's warm, get on in here because, theater kids unite, man. Like it never dies. That
Yeah.
passion is just like always here. So, if you love it, do it. My first piece of advice would be to find your heroes in the industry, or people, if you have like friends or directors or teachers that tell you that you remind them of someone, listen to them, and also spend time, you know, listening to and attending theater that matters to you, and finding your heroes, seeing what else they've done before, what else they've sang before, maybe where they trained, other roles that they do. Like if you're going in for a show, in particular, for a track, or like that was originated by an actor that you respect. Look into
Mm-hmm.
the other stuff that they did and get a feel for them as actors, and what brought them to that role, to originate that role, or what's so special about them that makes them magnetic. And so in the past few years, I've like spent some time kind of like studying people that I really love, and like people that aren't even type similar to me, just reading their biographies, reading about them, watching videos or interviews that they've done, and just kind of getting a feel for who they are as people and what makes them good for these characters.
Mm-hmm.
If you if you have material you're doing, if you're auditioning for things with material, if you have a repertoire that you sing through professionally or something like that, make sure it's just filled with things that you love to sing. Because I feel like life is too short to not be performing your absolute favorite thing, even if you feel like it's perfect for the show or whatever. Like if it does not
Yeah.
light your soul on fire, I don't give a shit. Like just find the things and the songs that absolutely you love, that you can wake up and sing and tell that story every single day. And don't worry about whether it's perfect for that particular role or that particular theater. They do want to see you. So you can find even versions of the same story, just told through a different character lens or something like that, in a song that you really, really do love. So that's my personal advice, that just from the auditioning perspective of the grind of getting out here and making yourself vulnerable. I also started to keep an audition log pretty recently, which helps with like the data tracking. I think in an industry where we're rejected so often, it's kind of important to check in and have all of that data where you auditioned, when you auditioned, if you got a call back, if you didn't, what you were
Mhm.
wearing, how you were, what material you worked on, what you had to prepare for the initial audition, for the callback, a self assessment of how that audition went, and then also your feelings about it. You know, if you felt like it was a bad audition, if you felt like it was a good audition. I've found journaling to be really important to me, both in organizing my own head when I feel like the world is too much and it's a little crazy and I feel like I can't really like sort through, or I feel overwhelmed and distracted from the material by my own personal life or something that's going on in the world. I've found that, you know, if you write long enough, eventually you release it and
Yeah.
you can't hide from yourself there on the page. I also did I did the artist way this past year. I only
Hmm.
made it up to chapter 8 myself, but the journaling through what are called the morning pages in the artist way, it's 3 pages back and front of stream of consciousness writing first thing in the morning. Like you can get up and use the bathroom, but immediately after that, you sit down and you write 3 pages back to back.
Hmm.
It's exhausting. It requires you carving out that extra time to spend with yourself and with your creativity, and devoting that uninterrupted time to your art form and to yourself as an artist. It's on you to like be sorting out your own shit and not bringing that into contracts and bringing that into working relationships. Being on tour, I felt that like taking time alone to kind of, or to meditate, was very precious to me.
Hmm.
And most importantly, to being a good coworker to the people around me, that if I felt a little overwhelmed or like caught up in a narrative or a story about how something was happening, that it could help me kind of ground and feel a little bit lighter, feel a little bit easier, and be able to move professionally through difficult situations instead of barreling through in an emotionally charged way.
Hmm.
I found that was like really important to me. So I feel the same about while I'm auditioning and while I'm not even acting, of just like kind of keeping my head clear. Journaling is really great. I can't recommend the artist way enough. The morning
Yeah.
pages are a huge place of discipline. There's also like coursework that goes along with it. I took as much time as I needed for each chapter, like 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes a month on a chapter, just because that's the time it took while I was working a full-time job to do it.
Yeah.
But I've never felt more creative or sound or still than I did in those few months while I was doing that, and while I was clearing my head on the page every morning. And I had all this room and space for creativity, that I even started following a little inkling of an idea of writing for my own self. And another part of the regular study is a weekly artist date, where you go alone on a date. You don't necessarily even have to leave the house. You could stay home and watch a movie if that's what your budget allows. But it's a date that you take your artist child on, whether that's coloring and listening to an entire album front to back, if
Hmm.
it's going to a Broadway show and you have the budget for that, if it's going to see a regional show. The only guidelines are that you can't do it with somebody. You can't like bring somebody along and do it at the same time as you're like entertaining someone else. It needs to be undivided attention that you spend with yourself. But I have like as a result of that discipline, I have a stack of playbills that is bigger than anything like I've ever seen. I've seen more plays and musicals in the past year than I've seen in my entire life, just because I was like sitting down and setting aside the time for it every week and just making that promise to myself and showing up. And in a very difficult time where I was facing some personal artistic injury and some personal like career hardship, this discipline and this time and this healing was so important to me continuing with the career now. Um, yeah, so that's a long-winded
No,
string of
that's
advice.
fabulous. No, that's fabulous because like a lot of those things, like I've never done like a like an audition log. However, like I'm starting to like go. I'm starting to kind of track more of those things, because I'm as I'm going through like my previous emails and like previous footage that I've sent out, and I'm reviewing it of like, okay, let's like get a better grip on like what I'm putting out there for each audition, but then also like having like making that creative time, I think is like super important. I never thought of like having like an actor like date night solo to just kind of invest in the art and
Yeah.
like what I can get out of it. It's so
Yeah. Whether
important.
it's like, I don't know, watching a movie musical you haven't seen in a long time, or like going to see a show, or, even just like listening to an album while you clean your bathroom, like you listen to an entire like Broadway cast recording while
Yeah.
you're cleaning your bathroom. Sometimes that was my artist date. Like, it it made my life so much more creative, and it made me continue to show up for myself every day because I also had that morale boost. It made the discipline of the course easier, the artist date for sure. But I feel like, if anything, at least every artist should be going on dates with themselves regularly. I know it's hard. It's like a busy world that we live in, but like once a
Yeah.
month, twice a month, that you're like spending time by yourself, committing to
Hmm.
your art form, when you can't always do it professionally 24/7, is really
Yeah.
important to our faith in ourselves. And I feel like the data keeping as well through like the audition log, it's like really easy to feel disheartened by the constant rejection that we face. And the data doesn't lie. When you go back and you look at the callbacks, and you look maybe even at the feedback or a note that somebody gave you or an adjustment, there's still success and work being done during that
Hmm.
audition time. And now that I'm getting serious about the note keeping, it's taken me a couple of years to actually be doing it full out this season, but that was something I made myself do this season, was like commit to the audition log and write it down every time, even if it wasn't right after.
Yeah. That's fabulous. Well, thank you so much for spending your evening with me.
Oh my God, I love you so much. I feel like I talked about myself the whole time.
that
So
that I fear that that is the point when you get interviewed on a podcast.
I wish we could have talked about you more.
Oh no, 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 no. Listeners are sick of me. Um, but you're not on social media, but if people want to check some of your stuff out, you have a website, correct?
Yes, jennajanet.com. Yeah, and I have a YouTube channel there too. I don't really post that much stuff on there, but I could theoretically start doing that. I usually keep everything on my website. When my social media is active, it's at the Jenna Janet. But yeah, just I've been taking a break for a couple of years, courtesy of the Artist's Way driving me to that decision. and the journaling that I was doing, just kind of, it was a question that kept coming up. And I just, yeah, it's been really good for me actually. So if
Yeah.
you don't mind, go to my website. But yeah, you can hit me up via email too at the jennajanet@gmail.com.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm very grateful for you coming on. This has been Nonic Nonsense. We come to you on your Mondays, on your dark days. The next episode, we'll be interviewing Professor Sarah Shock, a returner to the pod. But everyone, stay happy, stay healthy. No COVID.